Yes, good evening. Welcome back to the Celtic Unrestricted View. It's myself, JP, as you all probably know. Joining me tonight in a bumper panel, we have got our very own Mr. Andy Gray. Again, fell out with a Mac-free razor. Surprised the Mac-free razor never kicked him out of the house, to be honest. He's obviously kicked it out of the house. We are joined by our good friend Alan again. Good evening, Alan. And we are joined by our very good friend, Mr. Barry Bannan. How are you, Bazza? It's good to see your wee smiling face again, mate.
Good, mate. Just looking forward to tonight again. Obviously, missed last week, had date night, so apologies. I'll be on double this week, so a good healthy wage packet after this week for big JP coming through the door again.
Absolutely. Ryan, to be fair, it's just as he says that there, he's absolutely cost us a fortune this week. So but it's all good, mate. All good fun.
That's a lot of money these days in Glasgow, mate, when you obviously don't have another partner in crime, mate. But talking about double, I'm double denim all week, mate, so it's all good for my end, mate, know what I mean? But I'm good, mate. I hope Baz is good as well and Alan as well, mate.
And for anybody just wondering what Ryan says there, by the way, the man is true to his word, and he always is. Here's a clear photograph of our Ryan. There we are. And he's in double denim. He's nice wee Celtic Danny Craney's there. So we're absolutely jamming. And that's the way Ryan's kicks about most days, actually. Don't get me wrong, he does have showers once every couple of months, right enough. Don't get me wrong, but he still cuts about as trendy as hell. And Alan, save the best to last, big man. How are we, mate? It's good to see your smiling face also.
Fantastic, my man. Hope you're all well. I'm just looking forward to getting through this, getting to half 10 and getting to see that double denim show.
Brilliant, man. And are you going to keep Pat McGinley's top on, or are you going to take that off before you watch it, or what's happening there?
We'll see what Mr. Double Denim wants me to do, right?
He's updated that software now that you can actually message him during it now, so that's pretty good.
It's an extra few quid, mate, for FaceTime these days, not I mean? So
it's like Jay at the in-betweeners, isn't
it? Before we came on live, guys, there was people queuing into the watches and a couple of interesting comments. And Jem, regular commenter. Evening, folks. Good evening, Ange. How you doing? Hope you're well. And Jerry H is following us again. This is one Bazar that we spoke about. He's quite good at the quizzes, Jerry. Hola from the Sunshine State of, I don't know if he's in Springburn or something. I don't know where he is, but he's hail. But then the comments become really interesting because they start saying things like, and we'll come to Jerry's comment. So this is a wee dig at us for being late again, boys. I'm assuming so. And Jerry reckons that Celtic sign players in the window quicker than what we do come online.
That's a lie, Jerry. That's a lie.
I wouldn't go that far.
I just thought I'd put that one to the panel, Jerry, just before we get into our conversation tonight. And then Plunge decides to put his wee spoon down, eating his cold beans to make this wee comment for us tonight. And he suggests that I'm putting my makeup on, which is why we're late. What he doesn't realise is I put my makeup on at 5 o'clock tonight so that we were good to go.
Do you wash it off again?
But I did, mate. I didn't look right. Didn't look right. I'll need to come to that guy that does yours, mate, because it's...
It's horrendous.
It looked an absolute...
By the way, that Mac makeup, by the way, it's no cheap as well, JP. You need to watch it.
No, but I'm actually going to need to watch because you guys look good with stubble. And it obviously it's good makeup to make you look, as if you've got a beard there. So, I don't know, I reckon you could have a competition to throw a pound in the bottle. Whatever one does is go to sit and let the cat like that. Off your face
that foundation for the Mac makeup, it stains the denim jacket and all, so that's how reasonable it is.
So you've obviously done that and you're talking for experience.
Aye.
Brilliant, man.
So before we come on air tonight, Celtic, just as Jerry says, Celtic announced another signing Bazza. I'll come to you with this one first to kick us off. And as I said there, another 5-year contract for a man. His name is Gustav Lagerbielke, and he's a centre back from Elfsborg in Sweden. And it was nice to know that they never wasted any time in giving him Big Starfelt's squad number. And I feel like that's still game quote when Jack starts digging into the guy's ice cream. Victor says, "What you doing?" And I'm back, is he? So it's kind of one of the ones. But this is a man here himself. So there he is, and there's a better photo of him here. So early doors there, Baz. What's your thoughts on this one?
I think it was definitely a position that Celtic needed to strengthen. I know they brought the big boy in the Rocky in, and I like the look of him. But I think with Starfield getting out, Carter Vickers getting off at half time the other day as well. I know you've got Stephen Welsh that came on the other day and done really well. You've got what's your man's name?
Carter Vickers.
No, the
Kobayashi
and the boy. It was.
That's why I'm here, Ryan.
So we've got strength in depth, but I think, like I touched on, Europe, you're going to need to sign another £3-4 million centre half in case Carter Vickers or Naroki is out. So I think it's a good sign. I don't really know a lot about him, but if you see wee clips in that, it looks as if he's. I looked at the clips last week when he first got linked with Celtic, and he looks the part. So you've got to trust the players at Celtic have bought. They've not let us done so far. So
yeah,
trust the judgment. He's got a good record. He's young again, which is the way Celtic seem to be going. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. Hopefully, he gets dropped in at the weekend against Kilmarnock in the Cup. With Carter Vickers being out, it'd be nice to see him playing a bit of that and getting him. I think there's 16 games into their season, that team, so he's obviously up to pace with things. So it'd be nice to see him get a run out and see what he's really like in Scotland. But I'm excited again. Obviously, new signings, you can't wait to see them. So I'm looking forward to seeing this Swedish boy. We've obviously done well with Swedish players in the past, with Larsson, Lustig, people like that. So hopefully he can be another good Swede that comes and waits up Parkhead.
And obviously, just before I go to the boys with the same sort of question, Francis Lester's stuck a wee question for you, Baz, in the comments, mate. And this is Francis, who done our posters and my banner for our live event just a short time ago. Francis is asking, "Hey Barry, is it true what they say about guys with big boots? If it is, bud, you'll be soon on Ryan's 10:30 channel."
He must have got the wrong pair of boots. Nobody's ever said I had big boots, put it that way.
I tried my best for you, Francis. I do apologise, mate. Probably not the answer you were looking for. But Ryan, I'll come to yourself, mate. And after I do, I'm going to go and make a dinner for the family and let you just take it away.
I've not got a.
It's a free. By the way, it's a free course over having the night, I know.
I don't think we need to do that for this wee bit, mate. I think maybe for later on.
Okay.
Right, just let it go, mate.
No, it's just your thoughts on the new signing, mate.
No, like Baz says, I think to what I've seen through his stats and bits of his clips, he looks like he can play for the back. He likes to be on the ball, and that's really the way we're trying to play. Is our club at the back. Ange's trying to do it. Brendan done it his first time. He's doing it again. So he likes guys that can play the ball with his feet. You could probably say Starfelt could do it, but he did look a bit awkward, obviously, because he was playing at the left side. But I think I'm agreeing with Baz. I do think that the guy looks apart from your YouTube clips and stuff, but you can't really fully tell until he comes. But he's done well with, I think it's Elfsborg for Sweden, so he's done well there. He says he's fully fit to play. I watched his interview, good interview. Says he's fully fit. He likes to play for the back, so he kind of suits the way we want to play. And the fact he's fully fit, JP, means he can come into the squad. He's not having to bed in and really take his time to get into the team. So, like Baz says, it's a defender for Europe as well. free-from-ball defender, a lot of prospect potential going forward, and I do think we need a bit more steel at the back, because I know Rodgers praised Welsh, but I think that was more good man management than anything else. Kobayashi looks at the picture, so Vickers is injured with it looks like. We don't know how long he's going to be for, so you do need somebody else to cover. And like Baz said, it's exciting, mate, when you get a new signing and it's worth a bit of money, because it gets a juicy phone for him coming on. Potentially it looks to be a 5-year contract, so yeah, all signs are rosy, mate. 1 or 2 more signings, mate, and what we're saying the other day, that it might have not been the best of windows, a 2 or 3 more signings, and it's a fantastic window. So get a few more weeks, mate. We'll see how it goes. But all in all, on him, mate, I'm happy we've got him in. 1
or 2 more signings, your bleach can go back in the cupboard and your rosary beads can get hung back up the hook in your wall. Either that, you phone Jimmy Calderwood and give him back. Alan, your thoughts on a new signing, mate? And do you think £3 million is going to be a shrewd investment for this lad?
Just to echo what the other guys said, through stats and the clips that we've seen, he looks like a good defender, especially at his age. We've had quite a lot of luck with Scandinavian defenders in our kind of recent past, so I'm hoping that kind of echoes well in the future as well with regards to him. But quite a lot of money for a guy from Sweden as well. I think it was the club transfer record as well, seemingly, for Elfsborg. But it does look pretty decent. And what would be interesting as well, when you look at the 5 signings that's been brought in, I think they've been ones that's been in the kind of back burner when Ange's been there. But this has kind of been a reaction signing because Starfelt's left. So might have been the first one that Brendan's maybe had kind of most of the say on. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of player we bring in. But all signs point pretty well at present, what I've seen, and the stats look pretty good as well. So quite happy with that.
Aye, for what I've seen of him, Baz, I do think he's quite aggressive in what he does. He's very, very good on the ball. He's very, very good. He's so calm, and it looks like he's going to be able to play through any sort of press that's put against him quite easily. Again, he's played with Elfsborg, so I know they're not the best team in their country, but they do come up against a couple of really good technical players that he'll become accustomed to in day-to-day training when he comes in and starts fully getting going with the boys. But I think early stages, he looks like quite a shrewd signing. Is it just me? Is it just me that feels good to just have another skinhead back in the team, mate? Because we know how good the other one turned out to be.
He's I look forward to seeing him, because the way Celtic are playing, obviously, with building up for the back and all that, the way they're playing at the minute, I feel as if, like Ryan touched on, Starfelt gave you shaky moments, even though he got the ball there. He was on his wrong side and it didn't look great, but it still got there. But I think with this boy Naroki, you can see, me personally, I think he's an upgrade on the ball straight away for what I've seen in the last couple of games. So you talking about this boy saying he's probably even better on the ball, then it's only going to be good for Celtic, because I think that's where we kind of struggled in the games that let us down last season, when teams actually got the press right, let it go to Starfelt and press him because he was on his wrong side. It started to cause us a bit of problems and teams started to get on the front foot against us. And I think if you've got somebody on that other side is comfortable in the ball as Carter Vickers, then it kind of takes that plan away for teams to press on Starfelt, which they done last year. Whereas this season, if Naroki looks good in the ball, who do you press? Do you know what I mean? So it'll be tough for other teams setting up when you've got two people at the back who are equally as comfortable on the ball as each other. So hopefully he is as good as people say he is on the ball, and like I said, it'll add to the team going forward, because I think I touched on there with us last season in Europe and then the last couple Fulham games, I think they set up to press Starfelt because he was on his wrong side, and that's where teams kind of not got the upper hand on us, but kind of set a wee bit of problems for us building up, and then we had to go kind of more direct or miss the middle people out and go to the wide men. So it caused us a bit of problems. I just think Celtic have seen that and realised that they need to get somebody in there who's comfortable on that left side with the ball at their feet and roll out the press on that side.
Do you think, Baz, also with the signing of this lad, that also then allows you to be flexible and versatile, and that we can go to a back three in some of our games?
100%. We spoke about it when Starfelt was still here in the Rocky sign, so we thought they could have had that up their sleeves. So they've signed the Rocky, they've got Carter Vickers, they've went and spent $3 million, which is not to be laughed at. Probably needs to play. I know we spent a good bit of money in Burnaby and he's not really played, but you can't keep spending £3 and £4 million like the other team across the water and no being successful. You need to play these players and they'll need to play. So otherwise people start to question, well, what we doing with that £3 million if he's came here to sit on the bench? So it keeps something that Brendan does, because I said before, Brendan done it a lot last season with his Leicester team set up as a free. So it gives you that option and that flexibility to change when things are not going to plan, or if you want to throw another team when they think you're going to set up a certain way, you can throw that free in and get the upper hand. So it's good. I think it's also good for the players that are there at the minute. It gives competition for places now. They're all fighting for, at the minute, 2 jerseys, because you can only play 2 centre-backs the way formation we're playing at the minute. So with him coming in, it will keep the Rocky on his toes, Carter Vickers, Push Welsh, Kobayashi. So it's always good. I always say when new signings come in to our club at Sheffield Wednesday, people say, are you worried? No, really, because at the end of the day, it's a team game. So if he's better than you, he's better than you. It's better for the team. If he's no, and it makes you play better as well, because you've got to fight for that jersey again. So it's always good competition. I know if the guy comes in and he's better than you, it's no great. But at the end of the day, it's a team game, and if they're going to improve the team, it's better for the club.
Absolutely, and a man on here that loves competition, your very own Mr. Andy Gray. I mean, the amount of jerseys you've got yourself, mate, competition for jerseys. I've seen your wardrobe, mate, so it's really impressive, and I would say it's up there with some of the best and biggest clubs in the world, mate. But yourself, Ryan, in terms of, again, obviously the versatility of the back three, as we progress forward, I think Baz hits the nail on the head there when he says, you know, Brendan tried that when he was at Leicester. It worked well in some games as well. But not only that, the money then you're shelling out for these guys. We've spoken about it in terms of Nanowski. We said right away, this boy's coming in to challenge almost straight away. I've heard Lagerbielke's interview, and I've read a transcript from Brendan's comments about him, mate. I just get the feeling, mate, that this guy's not coming, as Baz says as well, to just sit and drink Bobby Bush's H2O on the sidelines, mate. I just don't see it happening.
Aye. We did speak about it kind of briefly before Brendan came in. If he came in and he's maybe a bit more adaptive than Ange was, because as much as we didn't want to admit at the time, by all accounts, Ange was kind of plan A or no plan, because if plan A didn't work and we didn't get any goal and we weren't kind of free throwing, it was right, what else do we do? He didn't really tweak formation, and we've seen it in Leverkusen in his first year. He tried to tweak it and we lose the game management. He did kind of learn a wee bit, but I think Brendan's a bit more tactically astute than maybe Ange was. I know that sounds daft saying that about a guy that's won your treble, but Brendan he's versatile, like you and Baz have said there. He can go to a free to back. He done that a lot with Leicester. He played a lot with a 10. That's why we spoke about Turnbull, who was obviously the only natural 10 we've got. Wally put O'Reilly forward to 10, with home go there, McGregor. So he likes to play with a 10. So there's loads of things that we can do with the formation. I do believe maybe the free back. I think the free back in Scotland's absolutely fine, mate, even against the team across the water. I don't think you'd any worries, because if you've got Narowski, him and Vickers fully fit, you've got 3, by all accounts, we can't say how good the Swedish boy is yet, but if you're just based on what you think they know and how much money we're spending on them, that's 3 good centre-backs, and then you've got either 2 good wing-backs or 2 wingers at the other side, so you can go free to back, and I think you'd be comfortable, especially at Celtic Park, in Scotland going free to back. You could potentially do it in Europe, but that means that you've got to have 2 solid fullbacks, which in my opinion would mean Arthur Johnson and possibly maybe another left back, because I don't know yet if Taylor, in my opinion, would do it. So I think you'd maybe need to look at a quality left back, and then you could go with free to back and 2 wingers, i.e. 2 winger fullbacks. So I think you could go free to back, mate, and like Baz says as well, the fact that you're paying good money for these guys, they've got to come in and kind of know how to go and running within a game or two, but they've got to do it within at least maybe after the first 5 or 6 games. If they're not looking too good, there's going to start being opinions. There's already, like Baz says, across the water, there's already opinions on them, and quite right so, to be fair. Let's not beat about the bush. So this guy's going to come in and have a point to prove to the fans. So by all accounts, mate, he looks good. And like Baz said, I know Burnley was £3 million, 3.5, and I did think he was going to come in with a left back. It's not worked out as yet, but I do think that the fact we're getting guys 5-year deals, £3-4 million signing on fees, the club must think highly of him, and the manager must think that there's obviously a development in this as well for the club as well going forward in terms of sell-on fees or whatever. So all in all, mate, it's good to have 3 solid centre-backs you can count on, because like Baz says, if Vickers is injured or Big Rocky's injured, can we really trust Welsh and Kobayashi to come in Europe, even Liam Scales? Probably no. So you've got a bit of reassurance. You've a guy who's played at a decent level so far at his young age to come in and play, mate. So all in all, it's always exciting for new signings, mate. And I think we could go free to back. I don't know what Aaron feels, mate, but I do feel free to back, especially in Scotland, JP. I don't think you've any qualms about it, mate. I don't think it's going to dampen you at all. And it just means you've got more going forward, which means you might even score more goals.
Aye, no, absolutely. Because I think going free to back kind of gives you that, but the inverted fullbacks give you, which is extra in your midfield. And then that way your shape becomes more, what's the word I'm looking for? More fluent. You know, when you're trying to build, especially if you're playing against a team that's pressing, and then you can beat the press, and you can beat the press easier if you've got an extra man, either inside or through the 6 or through the middle. Maybe another controller, or, you know, or one of your wide players coming inside to receive a ball into the sort of half position. So, no, I think you're right there. Before I bring you in now, Big Bev's joining us tonight on the YouTube. He says, "Evening, boys. Hope you're all well." Evening, mate. Hope you're well. For anybody that doesn't know, Mr. Bev spoke about him at length on this podcast. He is the podcast sponsor. His DJ company is AB Entertainment. Caters for every type of function that you can think of under the sun. We spoke about it the other night, Bazza. Big man does title winning parties, liquidation parties, treble parties, double denim parties, championship playoff parties. As you know, mate, you were on before. He confirmed that as well. Bar mitzvahs, he does communions, christenings, engagement parties, special birthday parties. So again, guys, anybody thinking about having any functions in the near future, please get in contact with the man himself. That's his telephone number that's on your screens. He's on Facebook, Instagram, and you'll get him on WhatsApp as well if you want to sling him a wee message, and he will get back to you when he can. It's coming to a busy time of the year for him, so he will probably, no doubt, soon be having a full diary. And again, Ryan, as I've said many times, mate, it's a total privilege to have Bev with us, mate.
I like you say, mate, he's a cracking guy, big Celtic fan, and his business is brilliant, mate, as well. So he also does. He actually told me he does double denim parties as well. So I'm buzzing. I'm buzzing off that, mate. So I can't wait to my Christmas double denim party. I don't know what's going to happen at that night off, but we'll go with that. But no, he's
you got a buffet organised? I know a guy does some good buffets as well.
I've got a big buffet, but we'll
sausage
balls. So unfortunately the chicken tikkara's gone cold now. It's away, so
it's off the menu, innit?
So I think I might
need to replace what is it no? But
it's the salad dressers. Salad dressers and Haji Haggises, mate. They'll take care of that. So the buffet will look good.
Pope's size steak.
I love that, by the way. A bit of peppercorn sauce and a beef deal, brilliant, by the way. Johnny
Your blue
Walker.
cheese pizza, what about your blue cheese pizza? I know you've got that in about you as well, mate. But,
That's a burnt that, to be fair. That's terrible, know what I mean? But no, like you say, Bev, he's cracking, mate. Obviously, people say, oh, you're biased, but no, generally, we've seen it firsthand what he does in terms of events. He makes people's night, mate, and a lot of good reviews on his Facebook and stuff like that. So it tells you exactly what his nights are basically consisting of, mate. So all in all, mate, brand new guy. And again, if anybody does want to get in contact us or contact Bev on his social media platforms as well.
Baz, just so you can see as well, a big man's just commented for you. So you're definitely on a promise, mate, he says. So he says, double denim when we come down to Sheffield in January.
I'll hold him to that. Well, Leonardo don't know what's hurt it.
Leonardo's hotel lounge man's not going to give a clue, by the way. I'm telling you, like, what is going on? The think of village people tribute bands turned up, man.
Double denim and a wee
That's
set
just
of
you and
Louis
Bev. That's
Vuittons.
just you and Bev getting in, Ryan.
Aye, double denim, a wee set of Louis Vuittons, high heels, man. Can't whack it, man.
Sorry, Alan. There's fetishes seem to have took over there, mate. So we'll get back to the football, mate. What's your thoughts in terms of the new boy fitting in and the obviously the shape of the team, etc.
Aye, they've obviously spent a bit of money or so, over £3 million. You'd think he's going to fit somewhere into the team. I'd say you were needing that depth as well. Obviously, with Starfelt leaving, so you were needing that kind of backup. If you're going into European competition with that, you've got a few decent centre halves there, but you could see him coming in at three at the back. The only worry I'd have is the fullbacks we've got at present is where they could fill in. I know Alistair Johnston brings a different dimension to that, but the fullbacks we've got at present, I don't know if they've got enough to kind of like fulfill going forward. If you were playing three at the back, is playing like kind of like semi wingers. So I don't know at the minute if I could see him.
Don't be saying semi on here, mate. You're starting to get people excited.
You know what I mean? Aye. But I don't know if I could see the wingers with the fullbacks we've got at the minute playing as kind of further up the park. I don't think Ralston's that kind of player, to be honest. Ralston does a job. He done well at the weekend, if I'm being honest, compared to the week before. Taylor's still kind of struggling at present, so I'm hoping that somebody else comes in at that position. So we just need to see kind of the end of the transfer window, see what kind of players it's brought in, but it's definitely an option. We bring in kind of that. Looks like there's three strong centre halves that's in the team, with the two that's been brought in with Janowski and Lagerbielke, and obviously Carter Vickers is the centre of that. It just kind of does it spell the end for Scales and Kobayashi? Because usually a manager, like the last few years, has only got you've got your two centre halves and then the two backups. So that's us kind of get six in the building at the minute. So he went out to Fleetwood today, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So there's six in the building at present. So I don't think there's going to be six at the end of the transfer window. So I would be saying the way that Welsh come in at the weekend there, I'd say that probably Rodgers looks as if he's favouring him. So I'd be saying maybe Kobayashi's leaving on loan and maybe Scales the same as well by the looks of it. But I don't know what you guys feel about that as well.
No, I think that's fair. I reckon that would be almost a fair assessment of so far with what we saw in the start of the season. But Baz, I think Barry Boy 40 on the YouTube has commented it in. Also, I was also going to mention it to yourself. I think one thing as well we're looking at when you're looking at back three is Alistair Johnson can also play at right centre back in a back three for us as well, as he does so quite efficiently for Canada. So I think, like I says, mate, there is definitely options there for us to be expansive in terms of we don't need to be secluded to one or two formations. We can be as flexible as we can, and I think also that then allows us to then be progressive in that teams don't know how we're setting up, so they'll not know what to expect in terms of what Celtic side's going to turn up and what shape of the Celtic side's going to turn up. And I think that's a massive chink in your armour, like right away there, to have that in your locker going up against the rest of, obviously, the Scottish Premier League, mate.
100%. I think the guy that's touched on Alistair Johnson playing right centre half, he could do that easy. He's got the attributes. He's strong, quick, good in the air, so he could easily play at centre half in a free. See, Kyle Walker does it for England at World Cups and the Euros and that. He's got a quite similar frame to Alistair Johnson, so he's spot on. I think he could play there, but then if you do play him there, who plays right wing back? Do you play Ralston right wing back? It's a hard one. So I think with the centre backs that we've got, we Alan touched on, we'll get 6. So if we do play a free, it'll be 3 of them 6 really that will play there. I think Alistair Johnson will be probably is the right wing back because he's at a train getting up and down. So, but it's good, definitely with options and flexibility. It throws other teams. It's just whether Brendan, the manager, wants to change formations and get teams thinking, or he wants to keep it going the way it is because he's just in the door. New players, stick to the one system, get them used to it. They might be doing stuff in training that we don't know about, working at other formations, but in games playing this same formation at the minute until they get everybody accustomed to it, because there's a lot of new players that have come in.
Yeah.
And they need to learn the first formation before they start jumping to other ones. But I think through the season it will be something that Celtic do. I think, especially in Europe, for me, I think away from home, you probably need to go a back 5 or 3 at the back with your 2 wing backs. Away from home, you probably just need to suck it up and put your pride to one side when you go to the SPL at weekends and you're full out attack. I think in Europe it's a different story. I think you can't be stubborn and keep going the way you feels right to, like we did in the SPL, because I think that's what we done last year. And I know as fans last year we were turning around and saying it's great because we're actually doing what we want to do and no worrying about other teams, but it never really got us anywhere, if we're being honest. We obviously played well for spells in the Champions League games, but I'm not saying I'd rather sit in all night and break away like we done with the Lennon days when we beat Barcelona's and that, like 20% possession. But there's got to come a time where you've got to just admit that the other team are probably going to have more of the ball, and you've got to play 5 at the back and try and hit them on the counter. Because like I said, I feel with the pace that Celtic have got and the energy that they've got in this team at the minute, they're a perfect team to set up and counter teams away in Europe. I think they're perfectly made for that with the pace and the energy they've got. But Ange wanted to play his way, and we were saying it was brilliant at the time, but it never got his results. Whereas I think this season, if we can go to a 5 at the back in Europe and get results, then it's something that we're going to have to look at.
Ryan, would you go along the lines of the AJ thing at right centre back as well? Again, mate, that's where we became accustomed watching him first hand when we saw him at the World Cup for Canada, playing against Belgium, taking the mickey out of Kevin De Bruyne. Not very many players get away with doing that, but he done it on numerous occasions that night, and he was excellent. He was outstanding. And I texted you that night, and I knew he was signing me, and I says he's going to be outstanding. He's going to be top class. And then watching him for Celtic, I have made a big on here. I've probably put my neck on the line and said that he's probably going to be the best right fullback we've had since Danny McGrain. Now, I never got to see Danny live. I've seen video footages of him, and I've heard stories about plenty. I feel as if I know the guy. And I still stick by what I say, mate. I think Alistair Johnson's a massive player for us. He's key. And I think even under Brendan, he'll be key. He's a big stature in the team as well. When he plays, Celtic look a lot more secured defensively. So I think, me personally, I wouldn't mind him playing a right centre back position. However, we've just spent but just over 7 million quid, or just under 8 million quid in 2 centre backs, mate. I probably don't see that option happening, i.e. AJ playing there. I see him there, as Baz says, he's like a train getting up and down that park. So, would you go with that? What's your thoughts on that
I think the only way you would play him right centre back is if injuries, really. I think every week he's your right back. I'm kind of hoping, as much as Ralston's improved and he's okay to come in and play as a secondary command, obviously you've got to rotate certain, if it's cup games, maybe against a lesser team, Championship or League One, etc. But I just hope that the manager doesn't kind of fluctuate too much with the team. And I know players will have to get game time and guys need to be kept happy, but when you go to win trophies, JP, it's not about keeping guys happy. It's about winning trophies and being successful, scoring goals. And so if it means guys are only playing because guys are playing better than them, then that's the way it's going to be.
Yep.
I think, obviously, there will be rotations because of the Champions League. They'll maybe, AJ might play the Tuesday, Wednesday, Ralston might play the Saturday. Obviously, depends on tiredness, fatigue, etc., and injuries. But I think the only reason you would play AJ at a centre-back role would be if there's injuries, really. I don't really feel it would. I don't think you would do it unless you had to. Because, like Baz says as well, I'm agreeing with the two are saying, he is an absolute train. He's impressed me. I thought we would find it hard. I know JJ had his faults a wee bit defensively, but I thought going forward he was very good. He get the ball in the box. He was very good going forward, and I thought how the value we got Janovic, I thought we'd have found it hard to get a guy with that pedigree to come into Celtic for the value.
Yep.
The value we've got Johnson for, his pedigree, played in World Cup. He's come on leaps and bounds. I think he's been here, and I think he's a stick on every week. He's a catalyst to us going forward and pressing. So I think I'm agreeing with Baz that for me anyway, I think no matter who we sign in the window, JP said to you the other night, I think the league take care of itself. The squad, if it had to be Joe Hart right now, but to just finish the window the new, Joe Hart's your goalie, and we had to go with the squad the new, I'm still saying we're far capable of still winning the league. I don't feel there's any reason why you want to go win the league under Brendan Rodgers with these players. So I think the Europe's a big thing for us this year, JP, because I'm probably everyone is Celtic fans were kind of sick of finishing 4th and getting 2 points and minus goal differences and getting beat 7 and 5 and 6 away from home. And I know these teams are better than you, but like Baz says, as much as you might not want to admit it, the team across the water, in my opinion, are not as good as us, but yet they can go away and defend for 80 minutes and then got a score. Why can we not do that? So I think it's maybe time we suck up.
Is it not because we've got a different identity to them, though, Ryan? We kind of set up to try and play against these teams, whereas they kind of don't.
I get that. Aye, their team obviously.
Because they can't.
No, I get that. When they were obviously through, when they would go to the final, their team was set up for Europe because in Scotland we were just absolutely blowing them away. Their team was set up to go and play in Europe because the players they had. I think now for us, I think that's maybe he's looking at Rodgers. He's maybe signing 3 centre backs to maybe Baz says go 3 and 2 full backs. But no matter who we play in Europe, even if it is Leipzig again or Shakhtar, whoever it is, I think you need to go a 5 at the back because it gives you a cushion. Well, it gives you a better chance of getting something with playing 5 at the back. Because if we go kind of the 4-3, 3-3, I think you're kind of suspect to a lot of pressure. But these quality teams. And I do agree with, I know some Celtic fans might not want to admit it, but I do agree with Cy Ferry and Slane. So they were saying on open goal that me and you did say that the way we are playing is totally different. I said to you the other night, forget Ansball, it's totally different. He's trying, you can see it's similar to his first spell. He's trying to play for the back, play it in, wide, play it forward. Ans was just get the ball wide and get it forward. I think you might see suspect a bit more pressure this year, not just in Scotland but in Europe. I think it might be a bit battened on the door sometimes because the way we're trying to play. It's easier to press you when you're playing for the back, team seeing high up, but when you play through the press, it then gets you forward quicker. So it works both ways. But I do agree with Artur in terms of that you might see a lot more goals conceded, but you might see a lot more goals scored. So I think as long as you're winning the game, mate, like you says, other night. If you won 1-0 every game, mate, you're happy because you won trophies and you won leagues and you won games. So you've got to have a balance. But I think I'm going to say that I'm full agreeing with Baz. I've spoken about plenty of times on here that we need to be better in Europe. And I know these teams are better than you, they've got better quality, but if you get your tactics right and you get your game plan right, you can win these big games, like Baz says. Neil Lennon, and we went to Lille and drew with Lille, and teams like that went to Lazio with Lennon. So it is capable, but you just need to get everything right on the day, and the players obviously need to perform. But I think Europe, JP, I think you could go to 5 at the back, and I think in Scotland you could easily go at a 3. So I think we've got more options now as well. And plus, we don't know how many guys are going to come in else. We can get a left back, we can get a right back, we can get another centre back. We don't know what else we're going to do. But I'm totally agreeing with Alan as well that I think Welsh or Kobayashi or Scales, one of them might be going lower or getting sold because you can't really keep 6 guys happy at a club, mate, centre back when there's only 2 positions, so or maybe 3. And I think Baz says the 3 will be Vickers, Narowski, and Maglaga. I think they'll be the 3 centre backs. So
well, I'd imagine they'll be the main, Ryan, and then obviously you're probably looking at Stephen Welsh afterwards because you've got to keep the. There's a new rule now that, especially Europe, you've got to keep the homegrown kind of.
Is it 6? Is it 6 or 8 you need to keep or something? I
think it's
6.
8 or 5.
6.
Yeah. Alan, yourself, mate. Obviously, we've heard Matt O'Reilly's interview. I don't know if you've managed to see it yet. I watched it before we came on, and the guy, I actually couldn't believe the journalist sort of asked him this, and he says, "It's been a bit of a sluggish start to the season for you. How would your overall assessment be to that?" And he's just done my. I mean, it automatically made me smile when I heard the guy saying. I thought he's obviously had a few diazepams before he spoke to Matt here today in this presser. But to even ask a guy that question with that wording in the question was baffling to me. And O'Reilly says, "We've won the first 2 games of the season. So we've scored 7 goals." He said, "We've actually played some decent football, one of which was away from home in Aberdeen, which is probably one of the toughest venues to come to in the league." He says, "And we won 3-1. He said, "So it's not like we struggled or, but again, mate, we've spoke on here, Alan, at length before you joined us, mate, and we've said, I think the Scottish media like to go through the process and the channels. I try to maybe throw a wee curveballs into upset the camp, and I know Baz is rolling his eyes there, and it's baffling, man. I couldn't believe he asked that before asking another type of question, and that was the first thing he went to. But in terms of the team, mate, the way they're setting up, obviously we know it's different, right? We know there's a huge difference between the 2 managers, but what we're also seeing under Brendan, in my opinion, is very a tactical approach to the games, and the players bedding in and starting to become aware of the way Brendan wants to play. It might not be the 100 mile an hour stuff that we've become accustomed to over the last few years, but I would imagine that's going to come because obviously, there's far too much quality in this Celtic team, especially up against the Scottish teams, for it not to come. But again, what's your overall thoughts there, mate, in terms of the question to O'Reilly and then obviously the team setup?
I think we always knew. We knew the way that Ange played, and everybody loved it, right? It was gung-ho attacking football. But we knew that Rodgers was going to come in. He's a more kind of tactically astute, more pragmatic kind of football manager, right? And hopefully the kind of lessons he's learned in the past with regards to Champions League games that we've massive defeats with the likes of Bayern Munich and PSG. Hopefully he's learned for that, and it looks as if he has. He was done relatively well with Leicester. So I would expect a more pragmatic approach with Brendan. If he even done 3 at the back, I wouldn't be surprised if you've seen somebody like Awata in the sitting role, and then when they're attacking, maybe coming back into a 3, something like that, somebody that you can kind of interchangeable. I can't see Alistair Johnston playing a right centre back because I agree with Barry and you guys as well. I think you're just kind of taking away his best attribute in his engine. his engine getting up in that part's just the best thing about him. So I can't see him playing right centre back. But the question that was asked to Matt O'Reilly, maybe the way we've played football the last couple of years, we've set a really high standard. Everybody's been massively impressed, and maybe that's how kind of Tottenham's been wanting my manager as well and took him away. So we've set a really high standard, and it's been impressive, quality, exciting football to watch. So now the players are just getting used to the kind of different way that Brendan wants us to play. And it's no any worse way to play, but it's just as effective. It's just a different way of playing, and the players are just starting to get used to that. You can see wee passages of play that you can see they're starting to adjust to that. He's wanting kind of fast passing. You don't want that kind of horseshoe, but if the players can implement the way that Brendan wants to play, the fast passing, then you could be in behind their defenders within 2 or 3 passes. And you've seen that a couple of times against Wolves and Bilbao. That was perfect the way they wanted to play, like the kind of wee flicks in behind. So I think in time that the players will kind of get used to the way that the manager wants them to play, and I can see this positively going forward. And obviously, the question that the journalist asked to Matt O'Reilly is completely unjust.
Absolutely. And obviously Matt O'Reilly's facial expression and Barry Bannan's facial expression on here when he's heard me, he's obviously not seen Matt's interview, but hearing that just getting reiterated there was just, it's totally baffling as to why, you know, it kind of makes you wonder why these guys do the media, because like, if these are kind of questions, it's getting flung at you lads, and I would kind of try and avoid it as best as possible, because you waste your time. You're going to ask me silly questions. You're probably going to get a silly answer off me. Do you know what I mean? That's the way I would treat it. But moving on, guys. Obviously, he picked up a knock. Well, the two of them did. Cameron Carter-Vickers and Rio Hatate both left the field. Cameron Carter-Vickers left at half time. Brendan sort of played that down very quickly in terms of, you know, he just felt his hammy tight a bit and didn't take any chances with him. And then Hatate obviously comes on and starts to bring us back into the game, because I thought Celtic had just, the game had just became a wee bit broken, and it suited Aberdeen at the time before Hatate came on. I thought they were just kind of winning more 50-50s in the middle of the park and just starting to take control of the midfield a wee bit with the boy Clarkson and Shinnie. And the boy Povlara, who looked a very good player as well, by the way. But I just thought with Hatate coming on, it allowed us to pick up the second balls a bit better. It became a bit more fluent in terms of Abada's movement. Maeda, he seems to know he runs really, really well, and he was pinging balls, and then obviously he pinged his calf. And we found out today, mate, that he is now going to be missing in action for about a month. My question is, Baz, do you reckon, this might sound mental saying this, but obviously he's not played them for the start the last 2 games, so do you reckon Hatate, 1, will be a massive miss to the squad, and 2, do you think it will have any huge impact on the squad moving forward?
I think he'll be a massive miss for Ibrox. He's got things that the other midfielders haven't got, and that's his tight areas where he can swivel away and gets away from players. He can carry the ball. I've seen the boy home. I can't really comment, but what I've seen so far, he seems to have similar attributes to Hatate, but it's 2 games, so I would probably say if home keeps going the way he's gone, probably no miss him as much, but he's going to be a massive miss. I made it obvious on here that I think he's one of Celtic's best players by a good bit as well. So for me personally, I think he'll be a massive miss. But what I will say is the way he started the season and the games in pre-season, he wasn't 100% for me. I don't know whether he's wanting away or I don't know. It could be he's came back and it takes people longer to get fitter or whatever, but it wasn't the same HATATE that I seen last season in pre-season in the first game, and that's probably how he's found his cell on the bench, because he's Celtic's best player, I think. So there's a reason or so that he's found his cell on the bench. But I think he'll be a big miss, because you could see even in Sunday when he came on, just wee bits, the half volley out wide to Abada when normally people would take it down, he's volleying it and getting you in behind, just wee bits of quality like that, and I think we'll miss him. But to be honest, I think it'll only be in the Old Firm game if we do miss him at all, because I like the look at home. I thought he was brilliant again when he came on the other day. He looks as if he's tenacious, he's got a change of speed, he's got a lovely touch, sees a pass. So I think he's going to be a big signing as well by the looks of it. But right now, is he HATATE? No. Is he going to be? Probably by the looks of it. But I think HATATE will be missed, because he brings energy and abundance and quality and abundance. So for any team to be losing him, I think he'll be a massive miss. But like I said, we've bought well, and we've got people who can come in and do a job. David Turnbull's been brilliant. I know he went off at half time probably because of the yellow card. I was saying to my mates, if he stays on, people, they're quick to judge, because the week before he was 2 goals, brilliant. Bad half at Aberdeen, not even a bad half, just quiet, never scored with it. People start to say no good enough to be starting again. HATATE no playing. Boy's played 45 minutes. That if he came out in the second half, I guarantee he would have probably scored again, because that's what he guarantees you, goals. He would have probably been in Matt Riley's position for the third goal. That'd have been Turnbull putting that in. So I thought Turnbull's been brilliant this season. So even though he went off at half time, does he deserve to be dropped? No, because I thought Celtic were good in the first half in that game as well the other day. So Turnbull will probably start again at the weekend. Gives him a chance now with HATATE out. The boy home might come in. So we've got options, but I still think HATATE will be a big miss. Carter Vickers, we know he's not had a pre-season, and I see it all the time. It's a simple, if you're coming back for a lengthy injury, you mention anything, tweak, tightness, the manager takes you out, because especially somebody like that who's a massive part of the team, you can't afford to be risking them and losing them for 3, 4, 5 weeks, whatever it may be, especially with the Old Firm game coming up. You've got to take no risks, and he came out for the second half with no ice and was watching it, and I seen him after the game as well. He was walking, looked as if he was walking about to the fans and stuff. So that probably is Brendan probably being honest there. It was just, he said he had a tight hammy. There's no point in risking him. There's second game of the season. You don't want to lose somebody that good for 6 months or whatever it could be with that hamstring. I know he's had problems before, so probably just there, like, just being cautious. And then he's probably got this weekend off as well, because it's a cup game and we've got the other new centre halves in now. Stephen Welsh stepped in, done well, and showed that he's capable. So it gives you a chance to give him a rest this weekend as well and have him fully fit for I think it's Dundee at home. So I think it was a good decision for Brendan, taking him off and keeping him. But I think HATATE will be missed, but I think we've brought well way home. And David Turnbull, I said he'd be a big player for Celtic this season. Have done well at the start of the season, so we won't miss him as much as we probably would have last season. But for me, you know what I think, he's our best player, so I think he'll be missed.
Yeah, I do. Obviously, Ryan, before I bring you in, there's a wee comment here tonight that I've just seen John Shirley's put in the comment section. He's asking why comments aren't being put up on the screen at all. The reason, John, I've decided not to do so tonight is because the guys are chatting, quite a serious chat tonight about obviously the new signing, the team, the way the team are setting up, HATATE, etc. I have already put comments up. I have engaged with some folk as well at the beginning, and obviously the sponsorship side of things as well. I don't know if he's a body language expert, lads, but he seems to think I'm not up for this tonight. There's been plenty. I don't know when you tuned in, John, but there's been plenty of banter. There's been plenty of jokes happening, mate. So usually when my face isn't smiling, mate, it's because I'm thinking about what's going to be happening next, and thinking about I'm even thinking about what's going to be happening in Friday's show, mate. So that's how proactive I am with this podcast. So I do apologise, mate, if I'm not always smiling for you. I can't sit like a big chest hair cat all night. People think there's something wrong with me. And then the door goes and it's the men with the white coats looking for me again, you know what I mean? But what I will say, John, is if you're not happy and you think I'm unhappy, I can assure you, mate, that's not the case. But I do appreciate your concern, mate, and hail, mate. Ryan, so yourself, mate, same again, Hatate. Do we think it'll be a big miss? I echo what Baz says, by the way, briefly. I'll give my thoughts on what I think of I think the boy home. We spoke at length about it, Ryan. We've seen it early doors in the Wolves game. I seen him in Japan, and I knew right away. You can tell a guy. For me, mate, you can tell if you've played the game and you know the game and you watch the game and you run about the game. You know a guy after about 10 minutes, mate, whether he's going to be able to cut it or not. And the boy was just unbelievable. The way he took a ball and he turns it. You seen him when he came on at the weekend. His Instagram was brilliant at the end of that. He's telling the boy, sit down, son. He puts a photo on the boy, Povlara, sitting on the deck. He's like, sit down, son, have a seat. Come on. Brilliant. I love that banter. I love that personality. And no, for me, he looks an absolute belter. And I can see where Baz thinks, has he Hatate yet? No, he's not, because he's not played a lot of games. But he's got that clear quality and ability in him. You can see it, mate. And again, mate, I echo what Baz says. I do think Hatate will be missing that derby game. I'm not quite sure with the rest, though.
I want to kind of touch on what you said first about O'Reilly, about the media. Like it's common knowledge now, mate, that it's always going to be every press conference, every paper. It's even when Brendan Rodgers came in, it was all about what they were doing, and it's just always going to happen. Ange dealt with it when he came in, and O'Reilly, whoever's doing the presser, they're always going to get kind of silly questions, and like it just shows you about me how professional these guys are when they still actually answer the question properly without getting themselves tripped up. And some guy answer questions, you get tripped up. It just shows you that these guys are switched on as well. And they heard it tonight as well on Super Scoreboard, and they're trying to compare Michael Beale to Ange's stint. It's non-existent. It's Ange came into for Japan out the blue, signed about 18 players. Our club was an absolute mess. He's been here over 30 games. He's had 2 transfer windows. He spent about £13 million on strikers that are slow as slugs. But yeah, it's meant to be the same thing. It's absolute nonsense, mate. I just had to touch on that because it's absolute crazy, mate, and it's got to get...
I thought O'Reilly's face was a picture of the guy.
It was brilliant. I've seen it, mate. It's the same as other guys in the media, mate. And they must be like, are you actually asking me this question? Like, going to talk about the game? We're going to talk about...
You know, the thing is there, though, Ryan, they were inches figuring out last night, so it would have been completely different. Different conversation. They'd have been having if they went out, because they were close to going out, by the way. They get through with the skin of their teeth. So what would it have been said then if they went out?
It would have probably been they're signed all these players and they need to jail. But Ange, it's right, I says it's a total different kettle of fish. Ange came in out the blue, had to totally revamp the full team. They've got a tiny wee rebuild. Celtic Ange had to change the full club from top to bottom. It's they're trying to spin it round to, but listen, we all know, boys, and all the Celtic fans know what they're trying to do. But on Hatate, JP, I totally agree with Baz is saying, you were saying, mate, he's a spot on that. Obviously, we talked to Baz, mate, and obviously knowing his opinion of the game, and he's played at the highest level, and you do need to think about what he says. And I've looked at it again, mate, Hatate, you can see that I've always said McGregor's the best in Scotland, and I can see why he's saying Hatate, mate, because the guy's got everything. I know he gives the ball away, and I know his ball retention might not be the best, but mate, I don't mind guys trying things. I'd rather guys take the ball and try things than somebody that doesn't try anything, because I'd rather somebody that tries it than doesn't, because at least he's trying to make himself better. He's trying to put things forward. So, mate, Hatate's brilliant. If we sold him, we'd be kind of gutted. And in my opinion, mate, that if he's injured for the game at Ibrox, it's a bit of it's disappointing, mate, and it is a bit of a miss, because he is one of the guys that can control the game, and he can, like Baz says, when he did come on, and you says he did kind of put a bit of energy into the game and obviously went off injured. So he's a brilliant player, JP, and I'm not saying he's too good for Celtic, but he could easily go to another level, i.e. down south, top 10, top 6, whatever, easily. Maybe he'd bulk up to maybe play down there because he is a bit lightweight, but I still do feel, mate, he's a top player and he would be a massive miss. And exactly what Baz says, mate, football fans are fickle. David Turnbull last week was superb. And then knew because he's had a bad 45 minutes, only a bad 45 minutes, just know he's best. That's him, he should be known. Team again, why be playing him? But yet, I guarantee if he scores a hat-trick on Sunday against Kilmarnock, oh, what a player he is. Mate, it's just Celtic Twitter, Celtic fans. It's mental, man. It's just absolutely crazy. 1 minute, Hatate's no looking the best. He's not what I be here. He's not smiling. It's crazy. Pure body language experts, mate. But on obviously home as well. I like home. I think he's really good so far from what I'm seeing. Like Baz said, JP, you can't talk too much on him because you've only seen cameo roles in him. But you can see a player right away, JP. Like Baz himself, he plays at a high level, mate. Right? They sort of guys, Championship, even League One, League Two, in Scotland, even down south, Premier League, etc. The way guys hit the ball, the way they pass the ball, the way they take the ball, the way they receive it, the way they scan for it, mate, everything you can see up how somebody's got it. Like the difference between me and you, mate, and Alan, say you played amateur, we might take the ball and race, mate, but you go and see these guys play football and you can tell it's sharp, it's crisp, and you know when somebody's got something, JP, at any level, especially when you go to the game at Celtic Park, you can see when somebody's got a good touch, a good turn, a turn of pace, you can see it, mate. So, and the boy Holmes got it. He played with Valerenga, I think, over 50 times. He's not a novice, mate, football, do you know what I mean? He's a young guy.
Poster boy for a Golden Boy.
I think, was it top 100 or something, players in the world or something for his age? So, no, overall, mate, I think if Hatate's injured, it is a big loss, mate. But like Baz says, we're bought well, and Carter Vickers, mate, he might even be a bigger miss because we don't know exactly how good Nerowski and Lager will be together. So you don't know how much. For me, Carter Vickers he's a top 6, top 8 centre back, mate, playing with Celtic. I think he's top draw. Who knows if he went down south, how we would find out. But for me, I think he's very highly rated by us, mate, and you can see that on the park, mate. But overall, big losses. But I think with the signings, mate, you've kind of got cover there. 3 weeks ago, if you asked me that, I'd have been a bit, scopy bubble time. I don't know, but I think now, like Baz says, you're bought well, mate. So I think you're maybe going to be all right for the foreseeable future, next 2 or 3 weeks. But longer term, we can't really say, mate. Know what I mean?
See if you'd have kept going for another 10 minutes here, Alan's dog would have probably tried to jump right out the window again, mate. You need to give other people a chance.
Listen, see if I go too long. See if I go too long, just cough or go, right, okay, right, sorry, boys, sorry.
See if you know what I'm going to actually do is just start muting you.
No, what we should do, right? You should just all use talking and see for half an hour at the end, just go double denim section, just let me talk for half an hour.
Absolutely. We'll do what we'll do is we're on a Monday, Wednesday and Friday. We'll start bringing you on a Tuesday and a Thursday for a double denim. For a double denim.
run.
Add a bit of different content to the show, you know.
I'll need to sit with my rosy bees and that and my suntan on.
That's it.
No, you need to get dressed up in the full denim, double denim with that wee hat on. Sit there and just run away.
Sit with your wee grey cardigan on, you look like Whistler's mother.
I want Jack and Victor to still game at that, man. No, my wee tea cakes up and everything, man.
Wee Eric, stick my finger in your leg. Get a heating on your house. Play the game.
I know.
Alan, obviously yourself, mate. Last wee bit on Hatate, mate. What's your overall thoughts in terms of his injury? Do you think it will be massively effective for the team, or do you think we'll manage to cope?
It's a massive miss. I spoke last week about. I was the one that says I thought Hatate would come back into the team, even though Turnbull played well and got 2 goals and an assist. But I think Hatate offers you something that nobody else in the team does. He's got that tenacity, just that pass that nobody else can see. and he's a special player. And I think we've got enough cover to get by, but as the guys have said, when we go to Ibrox as well, when you look at it, see compared to the last game that we played them last year, we're
Yep.
missing Jota, Johnston, Alistair Johnston, Hatate, Bhoy, Carter Vickers. Right, there's sort of 6 players we're going to be missing that was in going about the first team, one on the sub bench we owe. And we're just relying on that the players that have been brought in can kind of fill the gaps. So it looks promising at the minute. But again, Hatai, he is a big miss. I'd put him, along with McGregor, I'd put him up there with one most influential player.
Yeah. And again, the same as Baz and Ryan, Alan, do you reckon it'll just be the derby he's probably noticeably missed, or do you think the other games will be missed as well? Because obviously we do have some cover in the team now as well. We're still to see the lad Kwon as well and see what he's about. So
I think we're home, Tumbo, Awata. I think we've got enough depth in the midfield that we can cover for the league games and the cup games out with kind of Rangers in Europe.
Yeah.
I think with home coming in, he looked massively promising at the weekend. His touch and his ability looked pretty good. Tumbo obviously had his best half against Aberdeen, but played brilliantly the game before with 2 goals and an assist. Man of the match as well. So just in name, that's not even mentioning kind of Awata and Kwon. So you've got 2 players there in home and Tumbo that are against kind of your Kilmarnock, or it'll be St Johnstone the next game, I think, after that, innit? I wouldn't be too worried. I think that they are kind of able deputies to come in for Hatate. So it's just the bigger games, I'd be worried. I think it's kind of you're missing a top quality player with Hatate. But hopefully the other guys can kind of step up to the mark and replace his kind of qualities within the team.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair, especially the assessment wise on Hatate, lads. I really do. I think he's a special player. Obviously, hopefully the rumours, I know we don't do them on here, but I read today that Brendan's looking to tie him and Abada down to more of a long-term contract, and I hope those come to fruition, because I really like, I think Hatate's a special player, and I really think we should be getting the best we can for him. Should he have potential suitors in the near future? I do think he will. I think it will only be a matter of time before he's the same as Jota, and he's well sought after from a big bid. I think they've tried to do that with Maeda and Kyogo as well. They see humongous talent there, and but yeah, I do think there'll be other players brought in the window to try and strengthen us again, and I think it will be those 2 signing new contracts. I think there'll be 2 massive signings for us again. I'd like to see Abada under Brendan, and the way Brendan works and how he's going to adapt, because he's already for me, he's one of the best goal getters in the team we've got. He probably wouldn't boot my team, however, I'm saying that just now, but I'd like to see more. I want to see a wee bit more of the boy Yang. I've liked what I saw him early doors, and I think in this cup game at the weekend, I would probably put Yang into the team. But again, we'll come to that, and obviously Friday, and what we're
just want to ask, just want to ask Baz a question, JPC, and obviously there's links to the guy Podence, Baz. Do you think that's the sort of guy? I know obviously there's talk about Ryan Fraser and all, but the Podence link seems to be no going away. I know he's linked a while ago, but I don't know if it was Brendan's first spell under Neil Lennon. Do you think that's the sort of guy?
He was with Olympiacos, Ryan, when he was linked to us before.
That's right, aye. Do you think, Baz, that's the sort of guy that would get yourself and get us excitement kind of for the Jota replacement, and the sort of guy that would give you a chance in Europe as well to go and obviously progress and try and make the club better? Because for me, I would class it as I know we don't like to say it, but a marquee signing for me, he'd be a very, very good acquisition to the club.
These things get you excited, wee man, don't you? Whatever.
Aye, 100%. I think it's hard to say because we don't know what the boy Yang's going to be. Quite, he could be the replacement for Jota. We've not seen enough of him. He came on the other day, looked brilliant. So, but as in marquee signing, I think we've not really made one yet because the players, they could be marquee signs, could turn out to be, but right now at the minute, they're potential and none of us really have known who they are. But I think for Europe and knowing what you're going to get if you're playing in the Premier League at the top level, he's proven, and I think it's something that would get people after seats, especially if he came to Celtic. There's just going to be somebody very, very unlucky that needs to drop out the team at the minute in the wide areas, because for me, if he comes, he's the best winger that we'll have. I've seen him a lot in the Premiership, and I've seen him run games himself wide. He's an unbelievably talented player that could probably play at a higher level than Wolves, but for whatever reason, I know maybe stats doesn't get enough goals, then that's what people look at nowadays. But for actual ability, football and ability, I don't think he'd look at a place playing for a bigger club than Wolves. No disrespect to Wolves, obviously, but I think he's a top footballer. And if Celtic could get him, I think it would be an unbelievable signing. I'm not quite sure in his age, but if you're watching him play, I think he would terrorise the league up here. I think he's that good. So if we can get people like him, and I've seen his link with Eric Dyer, I don't know if there's any truth in that, but I know people are saying probably no Dyer now because we've signed the Swede, but Eric Dyer was actually a centre defensive mid, so he could be the guy that could be coming in to play there in Europe alongside Kwon, or playing battling out for centre defence. He's not just a centre half, he's actually a centre defensive mid, so I wouldn't rule that out yet as well, getting him. But touching on the pod ends, I think it would be an unbelievable signing and something that he would replace Jota and make you forget about him really quickly.
Because for me, I think, sorry JP, but for me, that's the sort of guy I think you're crying out for, that type of excitement, type of Jota replacement. Because I think to sell him and not replace him, I think it's, I did say to you, JP, I know it might be a bit harsh, but I think it's mismanagement to sell a guy for £20 million and not replace him in some capacity. But the Bhoy Podence for me would be an unbelievable signing. When he was linked a while ago, I was like, I think he's only 27, Baz. I was like, get him in the door. Because he's quick, he's pacey, he's direct, he assists, he scores.
He's tiny, I know, isn't he? He's tiny.
He's a typical, probably Celtic, tiny wee winger, nippy, fast, in the boot, know what I mean?
I'd love to see what size his jersey would be. I'd love to see if it was Willow Flood. Remember Willow Flood? And he put John Hartson's jersey on Willow Flood, by the way. I think they gave him a wrong one.
And Douglas's goalie jersey on,
and any Dyer links, I know it's probably media talk and it's probably nonsense, right? But I've seen fans actually saying no, and I know we've all got opinions, right? We all see football differently, right? The guy's got 49 caps for England. He's played over 9 years at the top level for Spurs. Played in the Champions League final. He's played with guys like Modric, but yet you want to take him to play in Scotland. But yet you'll give Michael Johnson another chance, James Forrest another chance. You'll want to see McCarthy maybe come in and play. It's absolutely crazy. But listen, we've all got opinions. But also, Baz, I had to give a wee shout out as well. I think it was the Wednesday Warehouse. They said to give a wee shout out to them, mate, to say they're proud of your achievements at Wednesday. They're proud for you to be the captain, mate, and they're very happy you're still at the club, mate. So just a wee shout out for them. They say to say a wee shout out, mate.
Brilliant, mate.
I've got a wee comment for you, Baz. It's from Patrick McLaughlin. He says, if Barry Bannan was a manager, which Celtic player would be his first signing?
Good question.
I knew he wouldn't be able to answer that, Patrick. Don't worry about it, mate.
That's put right on the spot because I've got two that jump out, but I would Kyogo.
Kyogo?
He gets the goals, doesn't he? So That's
Yes.
in football games. I know defending does as well, but you find it very hard to find a guy that scores goals at every opportunity he gets. So probably go him or I love HATATE, don't I?
Aye.
I thought you'd go with James McCarthy to get him off a wage bill.
I do apologise for Alan's conduct tonight, James, if you're watching the podcast, mate. But
Sorry,
when you
James.
do when you do leave Celtic, you're more than welcome to come on one night when Alan's not with us to have a chat with us if you must. But no, if I was a manager, Patrick, I'll answer that quite easily. The main man I would go and get is Kyogo. Listen, I was caned for how much I loved Kyogo over Giakoumakis last season by a certain group chat I'm in at the moment. Ryan will have a laugh at this because he's in it with me. And how much have I sang a wee man's praises over the top of Giakoumakis? He is country miles more than what Giakoumakis brought to the club. Country miles more. We're now seeing Kyogo coming deep and linking play from midfield to set his own forward lineup. So he's got so much more to his locker than just being able to score a goal. And that's why it puts him in a pedestal away from the rest. Kyogo, if he can score goals in this Champions League, guys, listen, I'll put this to you tonight. If Kyogo scores in this Champions League and does it in a couple of the games and does well, in my opinion, guys, he's going to be up there with the best we've had since Henrik for what he can do in a match. He can turn a match on its head. He's the type of striker that might not be in a game for 80, 85 minutes, and before you know it, he'll score 2 goals. That's the kind of guy as he'll just put it before you've switched off, you've put all your energy in to try and keep him out of the game, and you've switched off, and before you know it, he's cut across you and he's scored. His movement is
We're trying to keep him fit for a full season because that's the 2 seasons he's been here. He's had kind of significant injuries throughout the season.
And he's
So
also
we've not
finished
seen
top
the
scorer.
That's what I mean. So if we keep him fit for a full season, then we can see what he can really do throughout the season. So there's a lot.
That's actually quite scary, boys, if you look at this as well. Patrick, the same boy, put the question to you as a manager, Barry Bannan. He's also said that Larsson only had 2 Champions League campaigns at Celtic in his whole time here. That's quite scary, by the way.
You know the thing about keeping Kyogo fit as well is though the intensity in the runs that he makes. It's hard to. That's not normal. So you actually either need to protect him and take him off more, or you run the risk of that happening. Because I've not seen his stats, but I can just tell if you're looking at him, his high intensity sprints won't be. It'll be in the red constantly every single game. So unless you actually take him off 60 minutes now and again, he's going to be. He runs the risk of getting injured every season because he can't make that amount of runs at that speed for 90 minutes every single week, midweek, it's impossible.
I could be manage him a bit better as well because I don't know, last year with Ange, a lot of the games, whether it be cup games or the kind of lesser league games that we kind of wrapped up the league by that time, we were still playing the majority of the games as well. And that's part of the reason why Giakoumakis left as well. There was lesser games that Kyogo was still kind of fulfilling the 90 minutes. So maybe Brendan will manage him a bit better with putting Noah and Maida in at certain points and the kind of the games that are seen as lesser games, and kind of maybe that'll keep keep him away from injuries a bit more throughout the season.
He's playing on the shoulder than now, isn't he, a wee bit?
Oh, come on, yeah. Chap Bell's shoulder and all,
That's the full thing, knackered, man.
I'll be getting the cold shoulder off the boys after that, man, right?
But I can see what you're saying, JP, on the last thing. I was a bit kind of don't really want to say it because obviously the Champions League campaign last year wasn't his best. Obviously, it was his first time in it. Because guys like Dembele, Hooper, Edward,
he's becoming that bigger scare, right? To other teams now. He's got that sort of fear factor in him.
I can say now that if he does it in Europe this season, i.e. 2 or 3 goals or he does well, and then I think you can definitely say he probably is, because the only reason I didn't say is because guys like Hooper, Dembele, Edward, Griffiths, they all done it domestically and in Europe. So that's probably why they were, for me, they're a wee bit kind of upper level in terms of that. But if he does it, I think in terms of ability-wise, mate, for me, for that played up front, you just look at these guys, mate. The guys, he's an absolute natural goal scorer, mate. He's born to score goals. His movement's unbelievable. See, you go into the games, and obviously on the telly you still see it, but see when you actually go to the games and you see his movement, he's far ahead of the team. Like he's already moving. Yeah. It's frightening. And like Baz says, he could potentially be better than just about nailing him on in terms of full ability-wise. He's got everything. He's got a touch. He's quick. He can go and play deep. He can then go forward. So I can get what you're saying, JP, and I think if he does have a good campaign in Europe, I don't think anybody would begrudge that, mate, at all, that comment, because I think most fans would maybe say the same, mate.
No, definitely. Again, it's an early call. Maybe it's an early call for me. I don't know about similar to Alistair Johnson there, but I just think he's absolute quality. I really do. And it's really difficult to believe that 2 years ago we'd never heard of him. And now he's like one of the greatest players that's potentially ever walked through the doors at Celtic in terms of that position. And he's already scored goals in Europe, Ryan. He scored in the
I was meaning
League,
obviously the Champions League I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, I know that. I know, but it's but he's already scored in, in European football, so he knows what it's like to. I just love his energy, Ryan. I just love it. As Baz says, his runs are probably in the red. Maeda's is probably there too, Baz, as well, I would imagine, with the amount of running.
His is probably past the red.
I mean, if you were a modern day fullback, you can ask your mate Palmer. I mean, if he to go up against Maeda, he'd probably be shaking.
You got to really games like the Wolves game where Kyogo played against Wolves in pre-season and ran them ragged. He played the other night against Man United and played against Rashford and had no problems. But should have won the game, Wolves, comfortably. Kyogo had them 2 weeks ago all over the place. So it doesn't matter for me if he doesn't score in the Champions League. He's a problem for any defence with that movement and the speed. You can't. It doesn't matter who you're playing against. Obviously, if he misses chances, he misses chances. But the movement and speed is top level at no matter what level, and he'll get chances.
I think Aberdeen struggled to cope with him in Sunday there, just when he was dropping in, and that one, he looks as if he's gone, but then he stops, he sets his sail, and he tries that wee dink. It just goes over the bar before he scored, and his goal was unbelievable. You talk about punishing teams, Ryan. This is what I'm saying about how lethal he is. I mean, it was a one-touch and goal, bang, strike straight away. And that's what you call clinical. That's the difference in your, you talk about guys like Lawrence Shankland and, like boys that have scored goals, but this guy's a different level. This guy's not only goal scoring ability, he's also got running ability that drags, as Baz says, drags teams all over the place. He'll go and chase dead causes, Ryan, that you think, that's going to fish eye. He'll keep it in and flick it to Abada, or he'll keep it in and flick it to Maeda, and before you know it, we're through the middle and we've got another goal. So that's the type of striker he is. And under Brendan, it looks like his work rate's going to even become more, because Brendan now wants him to drop into the 10 and turn. But centre half, Ryan, again, throws a different message to them, because they're picking him up thinking, right, he's coming through and he's going to look to play on. And that, by the way, I'm being serious, playing on his shoulder here in terms of getting in behind. And then obviously, where's he gone? He's trapped to be into 10.
See, the thing that, I don't know
what you at that speed.
I don't know what you feel, Baz. If I know we're going on a bit, but I'll keep my shot, Baz. The thing that impresses me is how much, Baz, he's no offside and he's so quick. Like, normally guys who are quick movement and they're fast, they're always offside. Like, you look at guys like Lewandowski and other guys like that, at that level, sometimes they're off a lot. But Kyogo, I don't know what you feel, Baz, if I'm maybe just throwing nonsense here, but very rarely does he get called offside. I think he's that good that, like Baz, JP says, he does actually sit on his shoulder, and he's that savvy enough. He goes, thinks that way, and then he's away on his own side.
I think his pace, what you get Lewandowski, they probably move early because they know they're going to get caught. Whereas with him, he can go as late as possible because he's that quick and he knows he doesn't need to be on the shoulder. Like, he doesn't actually need to play on the shoulder, because he can be a few yards deeper, so he's completely onside, and he'll still get onto it because he's quick. Whereas with people like Lewandowski and that, they know they need to be on the actual shoulder to get away, otherwise they're getting caught. But he can run for a few yards deeper, and he's onside a mile, and he's still getting onto the ball because he's that quick.
No, definitely. And like I say, these lads, I just think he's absolutely phenomenal. And I will second you, Baz. I think it's a great first choice to have as a signing. If you were ever to become a manager, he'd be the first guy you'd be looking for. It certainly would be for me, because strikers are worth their weight in gold, especially strikers like him who score goals and do it regularly and do it in big games. And not only that, he's building a big mentality for us in terms of winning. So, and that breeds experience on its own as well. And, and I think young O will certainly be learning from him big time, and how to become that wee bit more lethal in his game. And listen, if you're not on the training field trying to learn from him, then you're in the wrong occupation, in my opinion, boys. But again, it's something we'd love to chat about. We could probably just do a podcast on that itself, just on its own. Maybe we will. Who knows? I'll see what I can muster up. But I don't want to keep everybody too much longer, so I will say my last couple of wee bits before we go, lads. As we can see, folks, there is a wee bit of information running across your screens on the bar, and it's basically about the unrestricted view merchandise that is currently on sale, guys. These are the fantastic mugs. They are done in vinyl, the print. And as you can see, we've got the nice wee crest that side and the Celtic Unrestricted View podcast logo on the other. These mugs are selling at just £5. Very, very cheap, in my opinion. Ryan, I'm really happy with the way they've turned out, mate. They're really good quality. And yeah, as I say, if anybody wants to get in contact with us to do so, you can do in any one of our social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. It's nearly 10:30. Ryan you just get in contact with us, John. That's all you need to do, mate. You get in contact with us and we will organise to get them to you. This is our second line of merchandise, our fantastic keyrings. So you have the Unrestricted View podcast banner on the front, and on the other side, we have got the Celtic Unrestricted View podcast logo. These are selling at just £1.50, guys. So again, anyone looking to get in contact with us for them, please do so and reach out soon. As you know, folks, as well, we have been running a fantastic auction due to our good man here, Mr. Bannon, has donated his playoff winning boots that he played on the fantastic pitch at Wembley to take his beautiful team into the Championship from League One in England. And the live auction is happening just now. It runs until the 31st of August. It's also transfer deadline day, folks, so it's nice and juicy for everybody. We do have a fantastic picture of the man himself, wee bit of modelling as well. Who knows? Who knew Baz was not just a podcaster, Brian, eh?
By the way, I think Baz will look good in double denim with that 40, Barry, I'm telling you.
we need to sort of get him sorted. Maybe we'll sort him out in January, mate. We'll get it all done when we get in to see him. But not only is Baz standing here with the boots in his hand, he also sent us up to us with the fantastic best wishes and his signature on them. Now, as we know, the other night, Brian, we had a fantastic bid for Baz's boots, and it was from Kevin Ferrier in our comments, Baz. Kevin, the bidding was sitting at £350 at the time, and Kevin has upped that bid to £500. So he bidded the other night for them. Someone asked earlier in the comments about, did you get the boots, Kevin? The boots aren't secluded to just one person. The auction does run until the 31st of August, folks. So again, anyone looking to do that, please get in contact with us. Kevin has actually commented, Ryan, tonight. He's said, get the boots, a picture signed, noggin a keyring for 530. As I think he was in the comments earlier, and he actually says, can he have a signed picture from yourself with your Sheffield Wednesday gear? And that's his new bid for the boots. So
You can make that happen.
there we go, Kevin. There you go, mate. So we can make that happen. So, Kevin, I need to ask you now, while we're live, is this your new bid of £530? Obviously, the keyring and the mugs are separate, so they're a separate thing altogether, mate. So we can't include all that in the one. But the £530, is that your new bid now for the boots? And as you've just heard Barry Bannon confirm to you, we can make a signed picture happen for you, mate, if that's what you do, if you desire. So let us know, Kevin, please. Kevin, the other night, Ryan, had actually commented to say that he'd left his contact number, mate. Now, I don't know if you seen that yourself, mate. I wasn't aware at the time of that. So, Kevin, if you can do so, my good man, please do so again. But do it so that we can see it in the community section of the page. I'm aware, Kevin, that you don't have social media, mate. So if you can please message us again in our community section of the page from the other night where you were commenting in, we can sort something out for you there. Your bid has been lodged now, mate, if it's £530. And again, we will update the auction after we come off now. So the bidding now sits at £530. As I said, I'll say it one more time for on here for anybody that's maybe had to go or come back on. The auction will run to the 31st of August. It'll be midnight. So the winner of the signed boots from Baza will be notified on the 1st of September. And then myself and Ryan, hopefully you don't stay too far away, and myself and Ryan will deliver those boots personally to you.
And double denim.
I'll not be wearing double denim because I don't think we'll be back on the podcast if people saw me in double denim. I've got double D's, but there's something else. Definitely. It's double decker biscuits. I've got a big box of Cadbury's double deckers in there. They said everybody's starting to let their minds go wandering and anything. Okay. And I'm waiting on a barrage of comments coming through.
It's all right. It's past 10 o'clock. You say to me, it's all right.
No, I'm not. I'm just going to keep it. We're a family show, Ryan. Come on now. Come on. But lads, listen, we will be back again on Friday evening. There'll be 4 of us again, and we will be bringing a couple of juicy things for you on the night. Ryan and double denim for one of them, hopefully. But there will be another wee quiz, guys, with a twist this time. So I'll leave you all hanging with that one. There's a wee twist to this quiz coming on Friday. So you 3 better bring your thinking heads. And by the way, before we do it, no Googling. So I'm telling you that right now. There'll be no Googling happening on Friday. It'll be using your Celtic memories and your Celtic knowledge to try and get through the quiz. But there'll be a couple of nice wee juicy questions. But nothing silly, don't worry about it. I've moved on for the Charles Eduardo Corridon moment, or the Dare Nailers. Yeah, I've moved on for the kind of
somebody that changed a plaster or that at the team or something. Something daft like that, wasn't it? Somebody that drank out a water bottle in the team.
I know.
Like, come on, my dog's bungee jumping out the window now, man. We've been doing it for the last half an hour. Come on.
We've been doing it all week.
I know.
Been doing it all week, but guys, It's been an amazing chat again, Mies. Thank you very much for your time. Everybody in the comments and it's been watching us, thank you again very much for your time. I love yous and leave yous, and I'll see yous again on Friday. Hail, hail.
Take care.
Hail,
Hail,
hail.
hail, guys.
Well, all right, lads. Guten Tag.